Hello, everybody. My name is Amilcar Alfaro, and I am the head of platform product marketing for Google Workspace at Google. Today, we're going to be talking about the platform benefits and building solutions, technologies, and innovation with Google Workspace. This is a particularly important topic because Google Workspace is one of the best known and most widely adopted software as a service products in the world, and it's used very widely and pervasively across all communities. And it's very, very popular and very common across startups, new companies, new ventures, and we'll get into some of the details of why this could be beneficial to you. Building productivity applications with Google Workspace is kind of an interesting topic because Google Workspace covers so much ground. One of the things we're going to cover here are some of the areas that might be of interest to many of you in several different categories, from productivity, collaboration, communications, video, and more. So the Google Workspace Developer Platform is actually not a monolith. There are several different things under the product, several different capabilities under the product that are really tailored to allow you to build solutions and services that are going to integrate to whatever productivity and collaboration technology you're trying to address, whether it's integration with video, whether it's integration with chat and spaces for dynamic asynchronous collaboration, or whether you're simply building solutions and technologies based on spreadsheets and documents. So understanding the platform is really important. And one of the things that we know is that this is a very widely adopted platform around new companies, digital natives, startups, largely because there's not that big legacy that a lot of old traditional enterprises have to deal with. It's very easy to deploy. It's very easy to manage. It's all cloud-based. It's centralized. So it's really very attractive for organizations that want to be nimble and lean and focus on building the best solutions and products for their customers and not have to deal with a lot of administrative overhead of their productivity products. So what does this mean? Well, Google Workspace, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, is really the platform and the suite that allows you to communicate, collaborate, and create with all of these different technologies in one single place. So we have email, we have chat, we have meetings, we have documents, we have tasks, forms, and a bunch more stuff. So what are the benefits of Google Workspace, in addition to the benefits of having all of these products and all of these services integrated under one space? Well, the first thing is the reach, right? Google Workspace today has over 3 billion monthly active users in the ecosystem. That is a massive number. That is a really, really huge number that when you think about the number of sockets and potential target points and potential opportunities to monetize, create new revenue streams, this is huge, right? Just think about the number of potential Gmail users that you could be working and talking to. So this is a number that really is very enlightening and very important when you start to think about the potential business of the potential future of your business and how it's actually going to be, developing and what's the scope of the share that you could reach. The second aspect are the number of actual organizations. So beyond end users, there are over 6 million organizations that depend on Google Workspace. And this ranks from the smallest small business and startup to very well-established unicorns, large, well-funded startups and companies that are in, a much more advanced series of funding, all the way to Fortune 500 enterprises. So it doesn't matter how big the company you work for is or how big you expect it to become. Google Workspace has this breadth of coverage that has helped us understand that this is a suite that is really robust and allows the scale and the flexibility that will allow you to grow with it. Lastly, there's over 1 billion app installs. So we have a very dynamic and vigorous marketplace. There are a lot of developers that build solutions on Google Workspace. And when you think about the number of people that have used either add-ons, additional apps, incremental technology that helps enhance the experience that you have with your existing Google Workspace product, there's over 1 billion installs. So that's a lot of usage of our products that are not only kind of in their out of the box form, but also with all the enhancements that come with them. And another really critical point that is fundamentally important for many of your organizations that are in the stage of development and building kind of the strategy of how you're going to go forward, who you want to partner with, how you can increase additional reach and how you can bring some of those additional capabilities that might not necessarily be in your core competency. We have some incredible partnerships with some of the world's largest ISVs and solutions providers. We have partnerships with Adobe, Salesforce, Zendesk, DocuSign, Cisco. So this means that if your solution covers a particular aspect of productivity and collaboration, or there is a particular component of the solution that you want to build upon and not cover necessarily the entire surface area of the solution, there are these incremental partnerships that can help us and can help you really drive that full end-to-end functionality and capability. So this allows extensibility, it allows pervasiveness, and really it allows you to reach many, many customers that rely daily on some of these technologies and platforms. So it's fundamentally important to think about the extension and the extensive nature of our ecosystem and how it's growing, because ultimately we expect that there will be more of these partners and more of these solution providers that you can actually work with, partner with, upsell to, and fundamentally think about extensions of your ecosystem as well. So the Google's Workspace Developer Platform, as we mentioned, is an extensible platform that empowers developers to build integrated experiences. Really, that is the fundamental element that we want you to leave the session with. This is all about extensibility and building integrated experiences. But it's also about growing your audience and really enabling users to focus on work and being more productive. And I know this is perhaps a little bit of a done argument because it's been talked about for so long, but in all the aspects of technology, the one that has been most impacted since 2020 with the onset of the pandemic has been productivity and collaboration. Hybrid work is a new thing. It's pervasive. It's changing the way we work, but it also comes with a cost of having to bring new tools, technologies, and capabilities that for some portions of the population at least have not always been there. There's functionality that needs to be improved. So there's a lot of things that have come around, and there's a fundamental change in culture around the way that we're thinking about building solutions for productivity and collaboration. But there's enough opportunity for really so much growth, particularly from organizations building on end user experiences, customer centricity, frontline work, support, that what we really want to anchor on is that this is a platform that you can really rely on to build these new experiences for workers to be more productive and really to reclaim time and talent. Those are two fundamental aspects about the platform that we really want to highlight. So the Google Workspace Developer Platform has, like I said, there are a multitude of different components. It has workspace add-ins for, the fundamental workspace framework. We have chatbots for our chat and spaces. We have REST API libraries. There's a number of things that you can do using infrastructure runtime. We have AppScript. There's a lot of integration with GCP, particularly as it pertains to extraction of data from enterprise data warehouses, from databases, integrated with workflows. But we also have, Google Cloud applications that are also critically important to the ecosystem, such as Dialogflow, BigQuery, the AI platform. And I would highlight that AppSheet is now a fundamental part of Workspace. It is part of the Workspace family, and AppSheet is our no-code application that is becoming really a very clear and important differentiation point, because it allows us to drive improved automation, workflow, no-code solutions, and particularly give a lot of frontline workers and end users, what we would consider traditional app creators and business engineers, the opportunity to build these solutions largely on themselves without necessarily a whole lot of IT supervision. So if you have, workers that are in the field, workers that are on a warehouse, workers that are mobile and having to make decisions based on unstructured data from a spreadsheet or from a database, AppSheet can really help them really bring a lot of these applications back to life. And like we said, we work very closely on integration with some of the biggest CRM platforms. We do a lot of work around cloud for marketing and data visualization, analysis. Task management is clearly a really important area. Collaboration is at the center of what we do. I mean, we have all our collaboration and integration tools. We have Drive for storage. We have a lot of partnerships around approvals. And we work very closely on features like technology for HR. And like we talked about a minute ago, the nice thing about all of these applications is they're all integrated under a single umbrella. So we have Gmail, we have Drive, Calendar, Chat, and the editors, Docs, Sheets, and Slides. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. There's probably a house for you within the Workspace suite to build extensibility and solutions. Or if you're thinking more from a consumption perspective and you want to be a buyer of these solutions, there's a plethora of ISV and third-party applications that you can acquire. Largely, there's a lot of opportunities for customization. We see tons of customization on Gmail. We see customizations around menus, on automation. You can clearly build a lot of macros and bots, right? We want to bring AI and ML to the core to allow some of our bigger, let's call it artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities into the suite. So Lastly, we also are very supportive and continue to innovate and invest on making this very secure and driving the right level of accessibility. We want to make sure that the applications that get developed and built on Workspace are, have the right levels of governance, have the right level of security and control, that you can actually deploy them and manage them in a consistent and wholesale fashion, and that you have the IT tools to be able to effectively shut them down and turn them off if there are any vulnerabilities. But in aggregate, I would like to close the session by going back to the point that we talked about initially. Google Workspace really is a rich set of APIs, there's a rich set of capabilities, there's a rich set of products that allow you to build these functionalities, capabilities, add-ons, services, or integrate to existing services, and essentially increase and enhance end user productivity, collaboration, sharing, workflow, and whatnot. So it's a complex and rich topic, but it's also a wonderful area to really think about innovation and exploration, because like I said a few minutes ago, the world of work and the world of productivity and collaboration is only going to get more complex and more sophisticated in a good way. We will continue to see innovation, we will continue to see investment, and we will continue to see the expansion of our ecosystem of work. This is no longer just about information workers. It's about information worker, it's about mobile worker and hybrid, it's about frontline work. And there's 2 billion frontline workers in the world. It's 80% of the global workforce are considered frontline workers, and Google Workspace can really provide some phenomenal opportunities for investment and innovation and growth in that space. So I would like to thank everybody for the time. I know there is a lot of information to capture here, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the near future. Thank you so much, and I hope this was helpful.